Okay, so this week I decided to go to genome.gov so I could look up maybe some different genetic disorders and see what was interesting. And one that stuck out to me was Parkinson's. And I do remember learning about Parkinson's in nursing school, but I don't remember anyone ever telling me that it was possibly related to genetics. And my grandfather on my mom's side actually had Parkinson's, so I wanted to look more into it. And I did take some notes, so if it looks like I'm looking away, I'm just making sure I'm covering all the information. So as for Parkinson's, it affects usually people over 60 years of age, but it can occur and show up sooner when people who are younger, but 60 is kind of that set age, and it does affect men more often so than women. As for statistics, it affects 1 to 2% of people over the age of 60. And one thing that they think affects this is if there are 3 or more people in your family history who are diagnosed prior to age 50, so a little bit younger, then that's when they suspect that it's probably gene-related Parkinson's. As for the actual genes and everything that's involved, I found some studies where it talks about how they think the gene that caused the inherited Parkinson's disease is coded for a protein called alpha-synuclein, and they have noticed when studying the brain after someone with Parkinson's dies that there's actually accumulations of a protein called Lewy bodies, and there's a large amount of alpha-synuclein protein in the Lewy bodies of those people who have even non-inherited Parkinson's disease and the people who have inherited Parkinson's disease. So that let researchers know that alpha-synuclein played a role in that. They're still doing a lot of research, so this is kind of part of my current research information also. There's 7 genes right now that they believe cause some form of Parkinson's disease. The mutations in 3 known genes are SNCA, which they refer to as PARK1, UCHL1, they refer to as PARK5, and LRRK2, they refer to as PARK8, and possibly another MAP gene, PARK3, have been reported in families with dominant inheritance. Now, mutations in the 3 known genes, PARK2, PARK7, and PINK1, also known as PARK6, have been found in individuals who had siblings with the condition, but their parents did not have that condition. So possibly recessive inheritance, which I thought was really interesting. And then there is recently available genetic testing for Parkinson's, but so far that's just to find the Parkin and PINK1 genes. So Parkin is a large gene. It says the testing is pretty difficult, but they're hoping that this will help find it prior to age 30, so in those extreme cases. And then PINK1, they think, is a rare cause of inherited PD, and they think that a less than 2% of those with Parkinson's are actually affected by that. So that's pretty crazy. Genetic testing for PARK7, SNCA, and LRRK2 is also available. So there's a lot of up and coming research about that. And right now the research is focusing on those families where 3 or more people are affected with PD. And so kind of right now that's where they're at. And they're doing PET scanning to try and research how that is going. As for signs and symptoms, trembling hands, trembling arms, legs, jaw, and face. There may be a slowness of movement, stiffness in the arms, legs, and trunk. There may be speech changes and writing changes, poor balance and coordination. As for diagnostic tests, there are no lab tests available. As for the prognosis, you don't die from Parkinson's. You really end up dying with Parkinson's, but Parkinson's can be the cause of something that makes you die. So maybe you have Parkinson's and it's severe and you don't swallow well, and so you end up aspirating on food or fluid, and then you end up with pneumonia and you die, or you take a bad fall with a bad head injury. So different things like that. And then for treatments, there is no cure for Parkinson's, but there is different medications that are available. So dopamine promoters, antidepressants, cognitive enhancers, anti-tremor medications, and then there's also physiotherapy that you can do. I know that my grandpa was on medication, and they say sometimes with Parkinson's, it can cause more of like the drooling, so he had some problems with that, and sometimes the trembling just never really fully goes away. So I know where I work, some of our Parkinson's patients have the weighted silverware so that it kind of helps counteract the trembling in their hands when they're trying to eat. And they have the plates with the lips on them, so it's easier for them to scoop up their food and get it in their mouth. It was really eye-opening to me to read about this, since it is something that affected someone in my family. So I hope you guys learned some information.